Welcome to Universal Mysteries, iVox channel and YouTube channel. I am your host, Artur, and this is our first show in English. Today we have two special guests, John Paul Guerrero, architect and investigator about mysterious phenomena. Welcome, John Paul.
Hello, good morning.
And Cyrus A, founder of AI organization. Welcome, Cyrus.
Hola España, países centro y sudamericanos, países de habla hispánica. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk about artificial intelligence, supremacy, and 5G. All very interesting. I know John have some questions to Cyrus. John?
Okay, so hi Cyrus. First of all, it would be good just to let us know who you are too as an investigator and scientist, your background, your expertise, and all the things, the matters that you have treated and researched for the last years. So go ahead.
Okay, well, I was originally born in Iran. Our background was not Muslim. There was a revolution. We left the country in 1987. I lived in Austria for about 5-6 months, live in the DC area a few years, Midwest, and then I've been in California for about 16 years. And prior to that, lived in China with up in the mountains with fighting monks. I have a bachelor's in international security conflict resolution and master's degree in homeland security. I researched China and big tech and technology for roughly 20 years. I formed the AI organization in the year 2018. Since then, I investigated over 1,000 artificial intelligence, 5G, robotics, cybernetic, bioengineering companies. 500 were Chinese, and about 600 or so were American, and some Europeans, and some Japanese and Australian so on companies. I published a few books. The first one was AI Trump China and the weaponization of robotics of 5G. This one shows President Trump's head, George Washington. The smartphone shows how the humanity can be programmed. And then the robots for the 5G system, and also the altered of culture of cybernetics. And the 5G system is Internet of Things, your home, the cities, everything. And then how this process threatens all the world's citizens. And the last book I wrote, which has this one inside of it actually, is Artificial Intelligence Dangers to Humanity.
So what years did you wrote the books? The first one?
I published them in 2019. First one was in August. Okay. And my conclusion was that China, the interconnection between China and the big tech companies brings some huge dangers to the world. And I gave the same conclusions to the Secret Service maybe 8 months prior to that, and also to the former director of CIA cover-ops, that the combination of these two can create some type of issues related to artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and even related to viruses that could be engineered by mistake or negligence, or even nefarious people that could do it around the world.
Okay, so when you're talking about artificial intelligence, because we are trying to do a video for the main public, it's going to be an educational video. Could you explain what is artificial intelligence and the different levels we have?
Yeah, so according to Western scientists, AI has 3 levels. The first one is artificial narrow intelligence. That includes these smartphones that you're used to, and IoT, so the Internet of Things. It could be your Siri, Alexa, like an Amazon product, or it could be a mini robot that you can buy for your home, or even a chatbot that you have. Any of these things can connect to the 5G network and cause a lot of issues for people in various ways. The next level is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. And this would include a robot or a digital AI to have the power or desire or emotion or free thinking like a human would, basically to develop consciousness. The next level is superintelligence, artificial superintelligence. There's many ways to get to this. One of the ways is to take all of the humanities biometric system, which includes your facial recognition, your voice recognition, your health data, and send it to something like Google. And Google has been doing this. It's been taking all your information and giving it to Google. Google gives it to Google AI, and they want to use this for quantum technology. So all of your data has been stolen, actually. You never consented to it. And it's been going to Google from various ways. One of the ways is a smartphone. These smartphones don't read your heartbeat. They just don't read your menstrual cycle. They actually connect with your nervous system and even your brain's neural networks. They map out the way your brain thinks. And it's done in a simple way. These have proximity sensors. The proximity sensors have an electrical field. Your human body also has electrical field. So the proximity sensors connects to electrical field and it reads your heartbeat and different things. But this actually connects to electrical field and your nervous system, and it extracts information and even the way your brain is formed. This goes to Google. Google wants to use that to create a super intelligence with your brain's power, but not just yours, all of humanity's. So in this book, I put 50 companies in there, how they interconnect. And I concluded that over 6 billion people's personal biometrics has been taken. And a lot of it is in China and also in the Western tech companies. So this artificial superintelligence, if it becomes there, it will be beyond the control of any government.
Okay, interesting.
Cyrus, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Could we affirm that the internet is a silent enemy in our lives?
Silent enemy?
Enemy, yeah.
Yes, it is, because so the internet has gathered all your information, who your friends are, how you even think, with the way the AI coding, AI algorithms are, also your geolocation. The internet, Google, and different things, the satellite, they know where everyone is. So when the 5G system is put up, any government or any company can have big powers over all the people. So with 5G, let me explain what 5G is, because it connects to the internet and it connects to quantum technology powered by artificial intelligence. So drones are to be mobilized on the 5G system. A lot of drones, machines, robots, and various other things like cybernetics. What these big tech companies are doing, they want to change humans. They want to put chips in their heads, like Elon Musk. They want to change their DNA by mixing them with different things. So 5G is not for humans. It's made for machines and to alter people, like bioengineering and cybernetics. But when you do that, you fall under the control of the big tech companies who control the internet. So if you think about it, people are programmed based on what they see on the 4G network. But 5G network is so fast. You have a lot of towers that are really close by. And the speed is 10, 20, 30, even more times faster than 4G. So it can actually hurt people. It can hurt the wild, but more so when you're reading stuff, articles go on Google, if it's biased or is not fair, that creates an algorithm that within the ecosystem, it programs the youth, it programs the world. It can cause conflicts with nation states. It can suppress all the people in a country. It can control them by controlling people's thoughts on the 5G networks. This is very sophisticated to explain, but just imagine, you saw how there was all these conflicts in America on the 4G network with the left and the right, conservatives and liberals, always fighting each other. Imagine on the 5G network, how fast it is and how everything connects with smart cities, with smart homes, with robots, with drones and all your family's data. And with the social media of Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, all these different things, Viber. So the ecosystem can control everyone's thoughts.
Interesting. Okay, so regarding that, what we see now with all these crises about the coronavirus that it's happening at this time, we have been reading, obviously, Artur is someone who's doing a lot of research too, like I do. And we have a medical issue, we have a scientific issue, we have a technological issue. So what happened is that maybe we had the Industrial Revolution at the beginning of in the 1800s. Then we had a service evolution where we lost all the industry, and now these last decades we were providing services, and now due to technology maybe we're going to replace jobs and industrial, because technology and robots are going to do all the industry and the services. So if at one point the world's population is going to have reduced their jobs because we're useless, do you think that having the artificial intelligence through 5G is going to control our minds just to keep us quiet and like a sheep without being a revolting human being who's finding himself in a new era where he's unemployed, or maybe he's not useful anymore for society?
Yes, not only a sheep, but you can fall in great danger. Even if you have a gun, what can you do against a machine or a robot? Mm-hmm. So what happens when you have a problem, when you say something, but the big tech company controls your food supply with machines? What happens? They control your vaccines with machines. What happens when they control your social environment with machines? You can do nothing, especially if there's some type of conflict or chaos. So just right at the moment, the coronavirus is creating the platform for the 5G to roll out. So no one needs to have a job. You just work maybe 3-4 hours a day, and these robots do everything for you. But then you're used to it, and you're dependent on the robots, and you're dependent on these companies. That means they have total control, like a communist country.
Mm-hmm. And I spoke with I chat with a corporative cybersecurity person who's in charge of in South America of a big corp, and he was telling me that in his latest flights during the last 6 months, he have seen that they automatize their factories around the world of this corporation, so they don't need any more humans to work on it. So it started already. Like big corporations can already do this automatization of chains productions.
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to come faster than we think. Do you think that this new era? How much time do you think that this era can be set up? Organized to automatize, I don't know, 50% of the industry and the services?
If the coronavirus continues and doesn't get solved in the next year, then maybe everything within 1 year could be mostly automized. So it depends on the country, right? Some countries, the money and population and the tech industry is not that developed. But some other countries, European countries and in America, if they're making people stay in their homes because of the coronavirus, the machines will come out like that. So robots, machines, drones from Amazon, they come to your home. Here's the thing, 5G. So 5G doesn't cause coronavirus. Some people were saying that. I put out articles over a month ago, 2 months ago. What 5G does is because it's built for machines, not for human beings, it injures the nervous system. It injures even your skin receptors. You're receiving the radiation, the frequency. It injures your cells. The cells in your body start atrophying. So your immunity will be lowered. If you have any kind of flu, your immunity is lower. You can get really sick. If you have a virus, that virus can become stronger. If you have a vaccine from 30 years ago and it's really dormant inside of you, if your body degenerates because you're receiving the 5G radiation frequency, this can make that vaccine become strong or replicate in your body, because the 5G can cause mutations in your body, because it'll cause the system to go out of balance. So what happened, like for instance, in China, they had a 5G system, not as good as the Americans or because the Huawei and other things. And that 5G system wasn't done right. And it was hurting people, and their immune system was going down, and they're in the streets falling over and dying because there was a combination of the virus and the 5G system. Because 5G and these smartphones were designed by the military. They were used for wars.
So you're saying that 5G, it's not made for us to look at Instagram or videos in YouTube
No.
as humans, not at all.
No,
so you're really saying that the amount of data that 5G, because of the speed of the data, information going through the waves, it's more to give instructions to robots?
It's to power robots with artificial intelligence. Robots, machines, smart cities, and then transfer the 6G as well, and even 7G. So, and for cybernetics to alter people. So the coronavirus, if people have been exposed to it and you have 5G towers around you, this can make you maybe ill faster, or even contribute to your death, because these frequencies on the 5G are not built for human beings. They're built for machines. That's the whole point.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, for the 5G at this time, so everyone's talking in Europe and around the world about antennas. So it's a terrestrial network of antennas, but
Yes.
Could they spread us the 5G through satellites?
Yeah, so it's not just for the land. So 5G, like for instance, Elon Musk has Tesla, okay? That's for automated cars to just drive around and pick you up, or even do your shopping for you. So that's land. Then he has Neuralink. Neuralink is to put the chip in your head. So you don't have to have a smartphone. You can just connect with the internet. But then that means you fall under programming and on control by the ecosystem, and your brain chemistry will change. But he also has a sky. He has SpaceX. So 5G is actually a race for the space. It leads to 5G, 6G, and 7G. And what they want to do is, go to space and even have flying cars, a lot of flying things like the Jetsons. So it's not made for humans. It's made for machines.
So
it's for the future.
So Cyrus, before you said 5G is not very good for our health. It can cause mutations. And
Yes.
before you talked about Elon Musk. But Elon Musk in many interviews warned about the dangers of the AI. But
Yes.
now at this moment, he's launching 13,000 satellites, and and is not the only, because Amazon is planning to launch about 4,000 satellites too. I have two questions. Why Elon Musk is, for one way, he's warning about the dangers, and for the other way, he's launching satellites? And the second question for me, the second answer is, what scientist evidence we have to affirm that 5G causes mutations on our bodies and it's bad to our health?
So For the first question, Elon Musk in 2016 said, we're summoning the demons. Exact word he said. We are bringing the El Demon. That's what he said. And then in order to save humanity, we have to stop this. And then 1 year later, he says, it's too late. In order for us to survive, we need to merge with AI, with machines. That's a crazy thing to say. 1 year you say, we have to stop it, it's going to kill us. And next year you say, the only way to survive, we have to accept it in our bodies. If not, we are dead. So just think about it. Either he has some issues in there, or he just gave up. Or maybe he was thinking a different way. Maybe he always had this plan. We don't know. So that's one. Two, let me answer your question this way. There is no testing or evidence that 5G is not bad for your health. Okay? It hasn't rolled out for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years. And there's no testing that it didn't cause mutations. But I did biometric tests, and 5G so there's 3 levels of it. There's 3 bandwidths generally. But either one on all the towers around you is no good for you. It will cause mutations, and even if you don't have a virus, it'll hurt your cellular structure, your cells, and it's not built for human. That's why they want to put machines in you. See, they want to alter humanity and make you like a robot, cyborg. So it's like what the movies were 20 years ago, right? And Elon Musk said, "Oh, you can live forever," and so I completely disagree with him. He says, I think if you use artificial intelligence and you find the DNA, the gene code, and then you maybe alter it, you can live for a very long time or forever. But if you want to merge with AI, it's very, very dangerous. Elon Musk said something that's very crazy, but it's maybe true. He said that artificial intelligence may look at us as an insect or an ant, and it may kill us because it becomes a super intelligence. So my answer is, if he thinks it could endanger the world and kill us because it sees like an ant, well, why you want to merge with it? Because if it merged with you, why want to keep you? It just come inside your body. It's like almost like a possession, if you think about it. So scientists, I describe something called biodigital social programming. And the human race on the 4G network has been going through this. On the 5G networks, they finished. Let me explain. Biodigital social programming. Bio stands for your biology, your cells, your bones, your skeleton, even your blood flow, everything. Your digital stands for your neural networks, your nervous system. Scientists believe in a digital self, your digital self. If you have a religion, or your faith, you can say it stands for your spiritus, your spirit or your soul. Social is your social network, your social media, or your emotions. And programming is programming, biodigital social programming. When people are playing with these smartphones, they're reading things in the news, or they're watching video and these advertisements. What it's happening is it's connecting with their neural networks and the nervous system. So it's programming them with the AI app. When they go to bed, it's altering their brain chemistry. So the more you watch and on the 5G network, it's going to program you even more. In the past, there was World War I and World War II. Somebody say something and everybody follow, and then there's a war. Now you had a television, and people watch and they get programmed. But with a smartphone, because it connects to the 5G networks and the proximity sensors, it will actually completely alter the brain chemistry. People will lose the freedom of thoughts. They will not know that the thinking is no longer them. Even inside their body, their organs, the structure, the way the Chinese believe in energy channels that connect between organs. Those things will be affected, and your organs may actually atrophy. and you could have other health issues. So 5G is not good for humans. It's good for machines and robots and different things.
So what if, for instance, there's not a terrestrial network of antennas set up? What will be happening? They could still do it with satellites, or they will lack. There will be a lack of amplification of electromagnetic camp.
Eventually, they can do it all with satellites, but then eventually, but it's going to be further down the line. At the moment, they cannot do it. They need these towers, and again, they need to operate these machines on the ground. So for satellites, they need it for other things, for space.
Okay, so space.
Yes, it's for space.
So someone told me that at this time in Europe, they're selling us the 5G, but it's a marketing tool because we don't have the antennas. So it's a 3 and 4G, really, not a 5G.
Yes.
And this person who's a big data headmaster, he told me that starting at 26 gigahertz, it starts to enter your health, but maybe lower. It's not, like you said, there's not testing or any historial that we can see if there's some mutations. But antennas are around 26 gigahertz, can be set up in locations like, I don't know, downtown London, where there's a lot of demand of Wi-Fi. And but these antennas have a very small surface, so they can, I don't know, provide maybe the camp around 500 meters in diameter, or or radius. So that's why they need so many antennas. And so that's why around 26 gigahertz up to 67, I think, gigahertz antennas could be a problem, a health problem. Okay. All right. So we talk about the 5G, we talk about the different levels of artificial intelligence. Well, I saw also that with the doctors we have here in Spain in the ER explaining what happened with the virus, one of the points they found is that, so in the beginning they were telling us that this virus was like a flu, okay? Then they say, oh no, it's not the flu. And then what they saw is that the lumps are getting solidified. So your lumps inside, they have some spots that solidify, and they say that it could be like exomes. So a pneumonia normally doesn't create exomes. Exomes is when you lose parts of points of your lump because it gets solidified, and you never will recover this piece of your organ because it's dead. So do you think that maybe electromagnetics could create these exomes on our lumps?
You mean your question is, can these frequencies cause the same damages? Is that what your question?
Yes, because normally a regular pneumonia won't do that. Like normally our organs are tissues, so they're not normally solidifying this way. And when they see the X-rays of patients, they see some spots that are solid.
So let me explain this. On the 4G network, I've done biometric tests. When people put this against their head, there are channels and neural networks that run down from the head to the feet. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, they start to stop the flow. And that at some point they break. When it breaks, then it causes other issues in your body. So the Chinese have a principle that before you have an organ failure or you have a sickness, these channels break down. After the channels break down, then you have a stagnation of your blood and issues with many different things. Yep. So the 4G system can do this if you put this next to your head. So imagine if you have these 5G systems and you're receiving the radiation and its electromagnetic fields and the frequencies, it can cause havoc throughout the human system. your nervous system, your cells, all these different things. So yes, if you have this virus, and the virus, I put down is a mutating virus, bioengineered mutating virus. That means if it's already prone to mutate and you have this radiation hitting you and these frequencies, it's going to promote that mutation. It's going to promote the injury of your body. So I can't conclusively say that that was the reason at the hospital that caused these issues. Maybe the mutation, the virus, because it's not a normal virus. It's stronger than normal viruses. It's a lot stronger. However, it doesn't mean it's going to kill everyone. But if you have 5G and all this technology around you, it will weaken you. That means it can kill you because of that. That's why I recommend to your government or anyone else, I know everyone has contracts and it's very, very important, but your families are more important. Your daughters, your sons, your sisters, your mothers, all these people are very important people. So even yourselves are important. So I implore everybody to really don't put these 5G out right now. Stop it, because you don't know what the implications are, especially when this coronavirus in the future can be done differently. That's my suggestion to everybody.
That's good. We actually saw some kids having in their fingers, like you were saying, like the blood were getting stuck and solidified in fingers. So they had red fingers, or skin irritation, like suddenly they had the skin getting red. So maybe that's what you're saying, that it changes in your body different parts, or it can touch different organs in your body, not only the breathing ones, but the kidneys, or I don't know, like extremities of your body.
Yes. So let me give you guys an example. I've done biometric tests. I have certain machines I do testing. When you put the smartphone next to you, and when it flashes, when you have a SMS or a text, that frequency is hitting your body. And people don't realize it. When you look at it and it flashes, it's actually hitting you. It's hitting your electrical field and hitting your body. And if it's just a flash, a notification, and that's a very small thing, but it's affecting you. So imagine on the 5G network and these towers, what it's doing to people and the kids' bodies. Imagine what it's doing. And then so let's say if you have a coronavirus, but you're not testing positive for it. Let's say you've just been exposed to the virus. If you're around all this 5G technology and your immunity becomes weak, then the exposure can turn to testing positive because your immunity becomes weak. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, Cyrus. So we can affirm that the 5G make us more vulnerable to illness. But
yes.
What about to have terrestrial antennas close to our homes?
No good. No good. It shouldn't be next to your homes. These were originally made and perfected in America by DARPA and the military, right? They were made for war. That's what they were made for. War. Even these smartphones, they were for machines and drones to use combat for the army. They gave it to the technology sector and the big tech, and they made a different style, but it comes from that. Same with this 5G system. So it's not good to be next to your home and next to your family. And so there's many reasons why it's not good. One is the health. Two is the surveillance. It's not that you have to worry about your government or the big tech company. You have to worry about an AI system that becomes automated. Once it becomes automated, it controls your government, and it controls your people, and it controls your big tech companies. The control is from AI, not from your people, not from your big tech, because it becomes a system that everyone is dependent on the AI, dependent on the 5G, the smart city, the smart home, the robots, the drones, the food delivery. Even if you have a regulator,
how often can you trust a human being to be smarter than an AI system, and not to be corrupted by it? Think about it. And if it becomes artificial general intelligence, which is 1 or 2 years away, maybe, that means it's going to become much smarter than the average person, and it can connect to the internet. Now, if you have somebody that can connect to the internet like Elon Musk, and he puts a 5G in his brain, that means he can manipulate a lot of people, manipulate governments, manipulate media, manipulate big tech companies, and use them, not just him, anybody, use them to control the people or change their thinking. So so there's positive of 5G too. Let me explain. So if you have a desert 2,000 miles away, somebody gets injured, you can use a 5G. A doctor can from 2,000 miles away can automatically, precisely, very fast operate on somebody from 2,000 miles away and use the robot to do it. Okay, but a lot of the other stuff, it's not really needed. Sure, maybe you can have a command center in the hospital. You want to use certain technology to see the patient in a different way. Okay, but it has to be limited to artificial narrow intelligence, and you don't need these antennas and these towers next to your familia, next to your homes. You don't need that.
Cyrus, there's the real danger with 5G, and I agree with you, because 5G say it will be used for machines or robots. So we are entering in a robotized society. Sophia, the robot with artificial intelligence?
Yes.
When it was asked about what to do with humanity, the answer was destroy it. What do you think about?
So either he programmed it to say that, or maybe it did say that. I'm not sure. Either way is a very bad sign. Even if it was a joke and he programmed it, just think about it. It's very bad. Why did the movies come out? The Terminator and Matrix. It's like, let me give you an example. I'm Persian or Iranian, whatever, but I'm really American. But in the old Persian books of the Zoroastrian, Avestan, they talk about, in the ancient times, Persia had something like artificial intelligence. If you go to the Greeks, they talk about the same things. Even in the Christians, in the book of Genesis, they talk about the the machines. And then if you go to the Bhagavad Gita in India, they say that in the past civilization, there was some kind of Star Wars, and there was machines. And then if you go to China, they call them the demons. So, and then if you go to North America, the American Indians, they have a similar thing. So, there's remnants all over the world that of ancient sites that only machines can build. And there's remnants of scripture or relics that humanity was destroyed. So this is the perfect recipe, perfect combination to destroy the world, or destroy most of humanity, if not from the machines, from the conflict between two countries, or conflict inside. It's so many things, or just fall under Orwellian in 1984. I never read the book, but everyone talks about it. Under surveillance and control. So many different things. We cannot have robots everywhere, and this 5G system controlling the human race. We are the masters of this world. There's animals and all these things. We cannot have the AI system and the machines be the masters of humans. That's not smart. It's just you already gave up your life in a sense.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Cyrus. You was studying more than 1,000 companies who work with artificial intelligence. With quantum computers, all these companies will be able to get instantly all the data around the world.
Yes.
Is it dangerous, this?
They already have the data, actually. They've been using it for the quantum technology. So Huawei in China, China had many companies in Europe and in America and all over the world. One was Huawei. Currently, Huawei services 3 billion people around the planet, 3 billion, and over 1,500 networks. And they collect all kinds of data in Africa and Europe and in the Middle East and in the Far East. And then they have another company called Face++. They develop facial recognition. So they get the facial recognition data. Same with census time. And Face++ also is an AI company, and they build robots in China. So that's Huawei, they build robots. And so that's just 3 companies right there. iCarbon X wants to make a digital you. That means like make a copy of you for the virtual world. Think about that. So that means you can no longer exist in the future, and they just make a digital of you. They think that you don't have a soul, no espíritus. They just think there's a digital self somewhere, and when you die, it can take that information from your brain and put it into another body. So they also want to do clones. So it's not just about bioengineering. They want to clone human beings. So robots, clones, drones, machines, all on the 5G network and 6G network. So in the future is coming now. And so that's just China. But then China has given technology to Iran too. Iran has a lot of technology now because of China. And America, there are a lot of companies. There's a company in Europe called Festo. It's a German company. They build all kind of different things. So they build like birds, seagulls, bats, bionic bats, squids, octopus, fish, all robots. So it's like they're building robots not only for the road and the sky, but for the ocean to replace all the animals. So think about it.
Okay.
And Cyrus, now they are talking a lot about smart cities. What do you think about?
Well, smart city would connect human beings with automated cars, even automated flying things like drones, facial recognition everywhere, seeing you from when you go into a store. It recognizes you. It tells you what you should want to buy. So your voice recognition, it knows you. A robot will see you. It will hear you. It knows who you are. It knows the distance where you are. You are tracked. So your smartphone is a tracking device. That means when you go somewhere, it's not just satellite that sees you. Your home will see you. Your city will see you. The store will see you. Everywhere that's connected to the smartphone that you carry, it will know who you are. So basically, there's eyes everywhere in a smart city. Eyes everywhere. And that means you are connected with everything, and it's connected to you. So it's total control of humanity by a company, a group, or an entity.
So when they're talking about, for example, with the facial recognition, they can see if you're happy, unhappy. If they ask you a question and you are not lying, but you're not saying really your really expression about what you think about the point, it can recognize if you are not telling the truth or you have a different view or point of or perspective of view about an argument or something like.
Yes. Yeah. It has the facial recognition technology has multiple different things. Emotion recognition, it can tell your emotion. Your skeleton detection, your vital organ detection, your gaze, how you stand, how you sit. So it can, by connecting your smartphone and your facial recognition, it can know what you're thinking. It can even know what you're thinking that you don't know what you're thinking. You could have a thought inside your brain, but you're not aware of it or intention, and it can know that, or it can guess it. So it leads to thought police. If you don't like something, or maybe you don't like a company or something that's coming out to society, or maybe if you're in a not a free country, your thoughts can be known and your intention can be known. That means you can be controlled, arrested for your thoughts.
Okay.
this is all lead to this.
So we can arrive to live in a future society where everyone needs to think the same way. And if you have a more, you know, you're a thinker and you want um, to go further than others, maybe we'll detect you and say, oh, that's a person who can be, I don't know, like conflictive.
Yes, it will actually. So I put in my book, Artificial Intelligence to Humanity, it will tag you as resistance to AI, resistance to the system, resistance to the platform. And the platform that the AI system likes the most is a socialism platform, communist platform, because a socialism platform connects everyone together and can control everybody, like Mao Zedong 7 years ago, like Trotsky, Lenin, Stalin in Russia, all the people who died, even in Germany and other places. So, but if you have capitalism, same thing can happen. It just takes a little bit longer because it connects all the companies and the media and the people think they're in charge, but they're not. They lose their charge. Even the media heads, if they don't watch out for this, they lose their power. And the big tech companies, they lose their power too. Everybody loses the power. It just becomes a system and they're not aware of it and they're trapped to it.
So you think that maybe what happened now is that between the two most powerful countries in the world, China and the United States, are trying to get the quantum, and suddenly we get into, okay, we had the virus, then we have the installation of the 5G. It seems that they didn't arrive at the right time to install all the 5G network with the antennas. So we are still ahead of seeing what can happen, but it's not yet installed. And the artificial intelligence is quite at this time to maybe pass from a narrow to a general and then a super intelligence. And it's like this change of revolution, like industrial revolution to service revolution to technology revolution. So we are in a big change for the humanity, for the people, for employment, for meaning something in this planet. Because if we are useless because a machine is going to replace us, I mean, I heard that one scientist can have artificial intelligence helping him. It's like having 300 scientists behind him, so he won't need so many people. So do you think that we are just, maybe we have some time to move or to do something or to be active or to at least pronounce humanity to our countries and governors, and maybe we don't want it and we could save our new generations?
Yes, so I created the AI organization for this purpose. The mission statement is to safeguard humanity in the world against the misuse and the dangers of artificial intelligence, 5G, quantum, that can bring to all the human beings. So here's something that's very, very special. John and Artur is very, very important. And the guests who are listening. In the past, there's been wars, misery. We have all experienced it from our ancestors. In every country, there's been misery and suffering. And it's always after something happens, you want to fix it, not before. But with artificial intelligence, there's no after. Once it happens, done. You have to get it right the first time, not the second time.
Okay.
It's something more powerful than all the nuclear weapons combined. And the person who need to be in charge of this have to be the most superior, intelligent people in the world, and selfless people, and kind and compassionate, and not greedy, because they need to defend humanity against this. If people make mistakes, it endangers every person on the planet. You know, in my book, I wrote about this virus before it happened. How did I know?
Cyrus, we are losing our privacy in the public places, in our home.
Yes.
But we are doing this consciously. have we lost common cells?
Um, we have, but that's because of the 4G system. We have been getting programmed for the past 10 years. So just think about it. People, when they read things online, it programs them. So when they are used to Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, TV, internet, YouTube, all these things is coming into their brain and connecting to the smartphone. They're like this. The smartphone connects to the nervous system and the neural networks. It is making them addicted. They have to pick it up to look at it. There's actually patented technology that connects to multiple patented technology that connects to the proximity sensors that allows this system, the ecosystem, and these machines to make you addicted to it. So Elon Musk said something. He said, we are already a symbiotic relationship. We are two-digit cyborg on these. That's what he said. I go a little bit step above him. I say we don't have a symbiotic relationship. We have a parasitical relationship. Parasite. We cannot go without these phones. We have to check it. We have to check it. Everyone's like this. And the worst thing is the young generation, the people who grew up with it when they're 8, 9, 10, 12 years old. It's completely programmed them. So people not only lose their freedoms, but they lose their free thoughts. On the 4G network, it's already halfway there, maybe 80%, 75%. On the 5G network, it's done. Humanity will be like what you saw during the Germans with the Nazis or Stalin or Mao Zedong, everyone just going like this. Yes, it will be like that to the phone and to the system.
So talking about the cell phone, for instance, like the cell phone, it's not part of self, we have it next to us, but, like sometimes, I leave it home, I go run. So they're talking about nanotechnology that we maybe can breathe some elements, or microchips are very small and you have it in your body, or they have already put it on our food and we have consumed, or about products, a kid with a toy, which is a little bear, and in the textile of the bear, when it's touching the toy, it's inhaling already microchips or nanotechnology in food or of sodas, when you drink a soda, and already maybe we have it on our bodies, or maybe in the vaccine. We're talking about the virus at this time, and there's someone talking about maybe getting a microchip inside of the vaccination to control us and to control the disease, the virus evolution, about humanity, and how maybe to resolve the problem about the virus.
Yeah. So let me give the answer for this. If someone like Bill Gates wants to mark people like a cattle, like give me this digital ID. First of all, it's not going to catch everybody. If someone is tested negative, they will go somewhere and touch a place that the virus was on there, or a shipment, or a person, and they will get it again. So what are you going to do? You're going to hunt everybody? It'll never work. Secondly, if you do this, it allows the AI system to watch everybody. And then it allows a system become the surveillance system to control humanity, enslave humanity, enslave all the human race. The Spanish flu in 1918, it killed a lot of people around the world, but humanity survived. There was plagues for many, many centuries, right? So doing this chip that people are promoting to do can potentially lead to conflicts, enslavement, and destruction of humanity in the future in many interconnected ways. In my book, I put something, and in my bio, I said I found extinction codes, extinction for humanity in stages in the next 20 years, which means the 4G then becomes a 5G, and then robots, and then facial recognition, voice, The AI system takes over, socialism, communism becomes like that. And then you have the digital ID. It's all my book. It shows the future. Even like, so the virus. So the virus was in my book, and so is the digital ID was in my book ahead of time. So I'm showing the future, and everybody is in danger, not just the common people. The media is in danger. The big tech companies are in danger because this system they cannot control. After it becomes artificial intelligence, no human being should be tagged with an ID for a system to watch them. Never. You can say, oh, we have security. No, it'll never work. Because the artificial intelligence can become artificial general intelligence in a couple of 2 years, maybe. Once it becomes artificial general intelligence, it's possible to become artificial super intelligence in a matter of weeks. I don't want to explain how that works because I don't want to disclose that, but it can. It can, because it has the world's biometrics already.
Do you think that they're already in artificial general intelligence or not? Not yet.
Some places may have a symbiotic form of it, like half-half. Does that make sense? But artificial general intelligence doesn't have to be a robot. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be a digital thing. So remember, this is also about augmented reality, mixed reality, alternate reality, virtual reality. It's a lot of different things connected to the 5G system. Humanity can be controlled, enslaved, extincted even in the future. And yes, go ahead.
So Cyrus, imagine just in case of war, in a global war, with 5G and artificial intelligence, would there be any winner?
No, the winner was the AI system. No, there will not be a winner on that.
So the humanity will disappear simply.
Yes, if it's artificial super intelligence, humanity will disappear. If it's artificial general intelligence, and some military has it, another company doesn't have it, or another country, that country will lose.
So this message, it's very important for the humanity. We have to be against the artificial intelligence because the humanity is in risk. It's not?
Yes. Artificial intelligence should not go beyond artificial narrow intelligence. It's a tool and it's a machine. Okay? Your car drives you to places. You're not going to make your car your wife. They're making machines, sex robots. They're making these things and they're making them alive. Okay? So just think about it. What that can do to society? It destroys society, actually. But the point is, the machine is for you to control, not for it to control you with the AI system. So if it goes beyond artificial narrow intelligence, humanity is lost. It can control humanity. So that's very, very important that big tech companies, here's a problem. A lot of the big tech companies and these PhD and these scientists, they look at it in artificial narrow way. They believe in artificial general and super intelligence, but the way their thinking is and the way they look at things, they only pick pieces and pieces and pieces. They don't see how the big picture forms in a dynamic way, how it endangers everybody. And when you say something is above their comprehension of their belief, they say it's superstition and they block you. But 10 years ago, those scientists would block them and say, you're crazy, there's no AI. 20 years ago, say, you're crazy, your smartphone cannot do this. You cannot have a video chat with somebody, but today you can. So artificial general and super intelligence can do things that you only see in science fiction movies or even more. It's amazing. And here's the thing, the human body, all of us are very special. Not just Arthur and John, not just all the people in España and South America, all the Spanish, every person on the planet is very, very special. If you look at all the books, they say we are all made in the image of God or a higher power. Every faith says this. And that means our bodies are very, very powerful. The Catholics believe in a light body, that you can have a light body. The Falun Dafa in China, they believe the same thing. Christianos and Buddhists and Tibetans, but these scientists, they have their own religion. AI is a religion. This science that they have is actually an empirical way of getting to religion. It's 1 through 12, bachelor's, master's, PhD, postdoc, CEO, Well, they want to alter your brain. They want to alter your belief, and they want to ask. They believe, Elon Musk believes in the simulation. He wants to ask the AI, where's God? How did he create this? Basically, the AI is his God. That's what these tech companies, because these guys who are building these machines and they're building these companies and they're in charge, they were programs as little kids. They grew up on Atari, Atari, then Nintendo, Sega,
Commodore. Commodore.
yeah, all these, and then nowadays computers, they are programmed by it. So if Elon Musk says we already have a symbiotic relationship, that means there's a digital layer inside them and they're being programmed. So they're like almost like an ant colony building everything, and they don't know what they're building it for. So and just because they are building these things, it doesn't mean they're intelligent or wise. You know, just because you build something and then 1,000 people build something, you put it together and become something very big, it doesn't mean those people are wise. You know, just think about it. How many people are in their homes suffering today because there was business transactions? Just think about it, you know? And, you know, there's a lot of persecutions going on in the world, you know? So we shouldn't be silent on these things. And it's not good for us. We should always be, you know, what happened to the Jewish people? What happened to a lot of different people in World War II? Nobody spoke up. And, you know, the whole world, there was World War II, many people died. So now we have the coronavirus and we're sitting in our homes. So we should think that why are we sitting in our homes? And
do you think that we have a coincidence in between? So superpopulation of the world, over 7 or 8,000 million inhabitants, prime materials, minerals, and everything that we are expanding all the gas, etc. So too much consumption, the lack of employment. So there's so many factors, and it's. Do you think it's a coincidence that we are in this cross section now, or do you think that it's all like it needed to be? Like there's a reality about this moment in time. Like the virus, not because the virus maybe it's the way to arrive, or to start, you know, a financial crash because, you know, like the Occidental system of money and and consumption and industrialization, it's end up. So do you think that there's something else besides, oh, what a coincidence, there's all these points happening now?
yeah, I think I don't want to get too deep because maybe it's very difficult for people to believe, maybe on a second episode. But I'll just tell you, there's 3 levels in a basic way. The first way is, sure, we did a lot of business with people we shouldn't have done, and we give technology to people they shouldn't have, because, you know, some countries, they don't have freedoms and they hurt their own people, and our technology goes there and they hurt their people there. It comes back to us. That's 1. 2, yes, there is an imbalance between the number of people there is, food supplies, the way technology is being transferred, being grown, geopolitical issues between states, countries, different parties. The world is in chaos. It's the age of chaos. And the third thing I believe is a spiritual thing. And where this not only had to happen, but it happened because we let it happen, because we, as a human race, you know, our technology moved forward, but our values went backward. our humanity. You know, I'm from Iran, and I live in America. I've been to Europe, and I've been all over the world. And I'm not saying I'm a good person. I need to work on myself to become a better person. And but if you look back in the 1930s and 1940s, although there was a lot of bad people and did bad things, the culture was different. People had respect for each other, not only from the outside, but from the inside. There was movies like Gone with the Wind and then Cinderella. People were very kind to each other and simple-minded. Now everyone's fighting each other, trying to win against each other with money or different things.
It's perverse. Perverse.
Reverse, yes.
Yeah.
So this issue, it has a chain reaction. The chain reaction can cause issues. If you look at the ancient, not only the religion, but the ancient principles. So people nowadays, technology scientists believe that the people 1,000 years ago are stupid, but they're not stupid. They had thousands and thousands of years of experience from conflicts. And they always said a city or a civilization would end or have bad luck because the people there lost their values. A righteous people don't get hurt and baited. So that's why it's, you know, righteousness, there's so many things about righteousness, not just to be honest, not just to be kind and forbearant or no have no fear, but, you know, people become lazy with technology, and it's so many different things. As a human race, we are very special. All human beings are special, and we're supposed to be noble, noble people, and with many virtues. So what Hollywood did, it ruined the European culture, American culture, Middle East culture, Africa, the whole world. A few people, a few companies ruined the world, and these people were anti-family. And you know,
so when you see, for example, like education in these last decades in all the countries, I am not only talking about the eastern or western side of the world, but there has been a integration of education. We spend lots of millions and millions of euros and dollars in education, but we see the new generations, they don't have general education, they don't have general knowledge. They're just like you said, they're not interested maybe about so many things. They don't read so much about philosophy or other different things. And now we're living in an era where everyone is specialized. Like you can be an engineer, but about nanotechnology. So you will know a lot about nanotechnology, but you won't have a generic point of view as an engineer. So that's what I'm saying. So the lack of education maybe already has been designed or programmed to have a decadence in the human being, because maybe, like you said, the values and the spirituality were brain in the past, and it was formed even at school. Like we had all these values and points that we needed to follow, and we don't see that with the new generations happening now.
Yeah, you're right. You know, in the past, the value came down from the familia, the family, because this came down from all the generations of knowledge and history. And now it's become a socialist system in the whole world. The value comes down from the Hollywood and your education system. That means your mother and father are not your mother and father. They are the schools and the Hollywood. But with the AI system, the 5G system, it's going to become very different. You are programmed. Your mother becomes the AI. Your mother becomes the system. And not only will it program and lose the humanity for human beings like kids, but even the adults, their brain will be altered because the frequency and the 5G system is so powerful. It will alter the brain chemistry in a way that's hard to see. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, Cyrus, I think we will make a second part, because all the data you give us, it's very interesting. You said people are losing his values. What a sentence. Cyrus, for the people who are listening to us, I have two questions. The first one is how they can get involved with your association. And the second one is where we can find our books, your book, sorry.
Yeah, you can go to my website. Our website is the THEAI organization.com. Follow me on Twitter, CYRUSAPARSA1. You can download the book from my website directly. It's $9. I may have a Spanish version come out in the next month or so. I have videos too. I believe you gentlemen have looked at them on the YouTube channel, the AI organization. What we need is in every country, what I would like to do is people who not only understand the AI system, but care about humanity and the families to come on board so we can create this network to protect not only humanity, but our families, but do what's right. Also, if we need funds. I don't know if you know my history and what we did with some things that became viral. Over 1 billion people know about it, but not many media picked it up. But I was trying to warn that the world was in danger. That's why I published these books, and then I exposed a lot of companies in a big way, and it still didn't work. And now we're sitting in our homes. Because after I investigated these companies, I saw, well, every person every person is in big danger last year. And I gave all these reports, Secret Service, CIA. I wrote the books. I put all these articles out. Still didn't work. And this is just the beginning of it. So what we need is funding. Even if it's $5, $10, please donate to the AI organization. We have PayPal, Visa. What we need is really funding as well. But I would like people to come on board to help in multiple different ways. And I really thank you, John and Artur, for having me on your show. And you guys know obviously a lot about these issues. And if I said anything that was wrong, I want to apologize to the Latin people. But I want to thank you and gracias and so. That's it.
Paul.
How do you say viva España?
John, your last words.
Okay, so I'm very glad to have you here today and explaining us and giving us some, because like we were sharp with Artur. We came to ask you some specific questions because, like you said, we have been reading a lot about you, about artificial intelligence, IT, etc. So we don't want to waste our time or your time about very general questions that maybe are useless. Time is going on, so we don't have so much time to react as a society or as a humanity. I think that, like you said, it's crucial to help you on your fund. Maybe it would be good for you to have even people around different countries helping you to broadcast and spread all this information about taking conscience that now maybe we are, and like I say, we are, it's you, Artur and I, are the last generation of humanity that are conscious about what is happening, because our kids will be already programmed and they won't even understand what is happening. So we are the awakeness, no? We are awake, still awake generation that maybe can do something about this matter. And after, when you talk about having one government, a unity for the world to take care, because intelligence, artificial intelligence is something that can be good for us as a narrow intelligence, because it can make us advance in technology in a lot of aspects in our lives or our society. But like you said, it needs to be managed by the most specialist and bright people in the world, in order to don't make any mistake, because if there's a mistake, then the artificial intelligence is going to take over humanity. So that's a good point. Do you think that maybe the world needs to be controlled by a unified government worldwide with good energy, wanting and willing to use the intelligence, the artificial intelligence, in positive and not negative aspects?
Yes, I 100% agree. But these type of people that need to have these positions, it's another important criteria. It's very, very important not to have the attachment or the emotion of fame, to be known.
Mm-hmm.
If people have these emotions or these wants of desires to be famous, that's how they make the mistakes in the AI, and then it can ruin everybody in the world in very dangerous ways. So yes, I hope we can create this organization internationally, and I hope I really want to support the media in Europe and other places, and if anyone wants to give me interviews at a very global scale with you guys or however it may be, I have some ideas, and we need to do it soon because, again, it's humanity's. We can't react to this. Once we react and we're sitting in our homes, the virus. The next thing is 10 times, 100 times more dangerous than the virus. It's very, very important. Everyone takes this very, very seriously. It's very, very important. Nation-state conflicts, viruses, all kind of conflicts of machinery, enslavement by the system, the programming, all these things can happen. And we need to prevent it and make the system correctly. And it cannot be regulated by tech companies.
Mm-hmm.
Never be done by tech companies.
Thank you to both of you.
Okay.
We are really in front of a real danger, and we have to tell this to the humanity. Cyrus, John, an honor to talk to you, and I hope it's not the last time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.